What's up, everybody? Hey, it's James Quilty from Funnel Dad Secrets. How are you doing this morning? Kind of missed you yesterday, but I definitely want to jump in because I know the last time that I had posted. I had was telling you my backstory on where I started, where I'm going, and I left off when I said when I started my first business, which was a fitness boot camp business. There was one thing that I learned that actually changed everything. And I'm here to tell you, it's kind of funny that I wasn't meaning to kind of cut you off and leave you hanging as a cliffhanger, so you'd listen to the next video that I had. Actually, I had to cut it off because I thought it'd be kind of cool, kind of get outside, change the scenery instead of like inside or in the car like I was before. And something started biting me in my chest. I didn't know what the heck it was, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I didn't know if I stepped in an ant pile or whatever. So I had to cut the video and the story off, really short, because I was like, "Oh my God!" I get off, video, and I don't know if they were ants or bugs or whatever. They were in my hair, and whatever I was standing apparently was not a very good spot because that was attracting all sorts of bugs. So that was why I had to leave, so suddenly, because I had welts and everything. I still have them. I go home to my wife, and I was like, "What?" She goes, "What happened to you?" And I was like, long story. Anyway, so that was why I had to cut it off. But I wanted to finish my backstory. I wanted to finish what I was talking about. So I had started my own fitness business, and before that, I was working as a personal trainer in a fitness facility, and I had worked there for 3 years, and learned a lot. Was really loved. The fitness industry. I love helping people. I had changed, my body, and so I wanted to go ahead when I separated from the Air Force. I wanted to get out and to help other people. So I first started, in a gym. And then after those 3 years, I made the decision. Okay, it's time to step out, on my own. And I was like, living the dream, get to do my own thing. I get to be my own boss. The dream that all of us, want. We want to have the money, we want to have the time, want to have the freedom, all that stuff. Which was awesome. So started from nothing, started from scratch. You know what? I started with a few people in a park. I finally got my first, facility inside a garage bay, industrial bay. As a matter of fact, I'm here in my garage. I'm actually, I just finished up working out. As you can see, here's my floor. There's I got some ropes and kettlebells, and got my TRX right here, and that's pretty much all that you need. You just need the essentials. You don't need all of the big fancy equipment, and I like to keep it simple. I like to, with my lifestyle and everything, I need efficiency. And it's not very efficient for me, to have like a big, huge, a weight set, dumbbell rack, squat rack, and all that stuff. I like to keep things, fast, efficient, and effective. And so that's why I love, functional body weight suspension training, kettlebell training, because the tools I can take anywhere, wherever I need to be. I can go ahead and train. I don't have to sit there throwing barbells and dumbbells and all that stuff. Anyway, getting a little bit off task, but with the business itself, it started to grow. And what I had realized was after about a couple of years, we had grown from that bay, and we had moved into a larger facility. Obviously, because we had a lot more people, we need a more space. Well, what I was realizing as we were growing, and as I started taking on coaches, so we can offer more services to our clients. What had happened is that the dream of being your own boss, having the time, freedom, and money, was completely, I was completely misguided. What I had learned is that, I had just transferred one job to another. The only difference is that I was the one that created this, this with the business, but I still had a job. And the thing that I had learned was when I was running that brick and mortar business was I lacked the one thing that I needed, and the one thing that all of us need, especially when we start business. And this should be your main focus. If you're looking to start some sort of side hustle, if you're looking to start some sort of business on the side, whether to supplement your income, your lifestyle, your retirement, or to actually replace what you are currently doing, what you need is leverage. I didn't have any leverage, meaning I was a single point of failure. And most people don't even realize that when they start a business, meaning, I was the brand. I was the one that everyone was coming to. And if I wasn't there, everything would implode, everything would crumble. And that's not the whole point of business. The whole point of business is to be able to develop an asset that gives you leverage, where you can leverage not only your time, but also your resources. So the business and the asset is actually growing with you not being there. We want the time and freedom, but then, we also want, well, if I'm not there, then, everything will fall apart, and that's not the case. And so what I was realizing was I didn't have any leverage. One, I'm the one that had to continue to, be there and run the business. And if, I wasn't there, everything would fall apart. But number two, what I realized was also that I was capped. I didn't, not only myself, but the business didn't have any leverage, meaning, I was restricted by the amount of space that we had. The business model that we had is we had, people that were coming in, and we were, giving them, high intensity, interval, type training. We first started out with 60 minutes of training, which was awesome, right? But again, I was only limited by the amount of space that we had, meaning, I couldn't really handle, any more than about 20 people, and any more over that, and there's a few classes that we had over that, the level of training diminished. The people didn't have what they were looking for and what they needed, in a coach when they go to, a training, facility. And I was only limited by, a certain amount of time. With an hour, people had to go to work. So the only, optimal times to train was, from 5 o'clock to about 7 in the morning, and then from about 5 in the evening to, about 7 in the evening. Those are the prime times. And if I was training an hour a day, guess what? I only had 2 time slots in the morning and 2 time slots in the evening. Running it Monday through Friday, I was really limited on how many. I can only do so much, and that means that the income was limited. And with the income limited, that means I couldn't bring on more coaches, I couldn't bring on more training slots, I couldn't provide more value to the customers. So then I had the bright idea of, well, guess what, I'm gonna cut it in half. So if I go to 30 minutes, right, which worked out for a little bit, because I kind of expanded, so then I can do, instead of an hour, 2 sessions in the morning, I can do 4, and then 4 in the evening. Well, then again, what I ran into the problem was people didn't get that attention. They wanted that hour, even if they didn't train the entire hour, even if they didn't need the entire hour. They felt like they were getting that attention and that instruction that they needed, which was key. And serving your clients is the utmost importance, making sure that you're serving them at the highest level. Well, then we started thinking about going back to hour sessions, and it was flip-flopping back and forth. Well, maybe we could have people work out at more than one session, and then we went to a bigger facility, which again, it opened it up, which means we can have more people. And I hired coaches, and then we kind of split up the classes. But again, that physical location limited us, because of the space that we were at, because of that physical space, we were limited, and we didn't have any leverage. And I share this story with you because that was the one thing that I learned that I didn't have, and I always struggled. And truth be told, after paying all of the expenses, I mean, we were bringing in, I went from 0 and we were bringing in well over 6 figures. The problem is that when we started to grow, all of our expenses grew, and all of that went into the business. There was one point where my coaches were getting paid more than I was. I didn't get paid, I was taking a little bit, but I was putting everything back into the business. But I was making about $900, and that was it. But it was because of the business model and the leverage that I didn't have. So if you are looking to start, some sort of side hustle or some sort of business, your best option for leverage in the environment that we are right now, looking back, I would have started this before. I would have done this business model way before I decided to open up a physical location, and that is running a business virtually, having some sort of business that is online. An online business gives you that leverage because with the business model that I had before, guess what? If I wasn't training, we weren't making any money. And so at night when we close our doors, everyone's in bed. Guess what? There's no revenue that's being generated. No training, no money. We need to train. We need to make revenue. We need to train. But when you have a business that is online, guess what? You get to make sales virtually 24/7. You have your store that's open. And the great thing about having a business that's online is you're not restricted like I was in my first. It was a 1,200 foot facility, and then we moved into a 3,200 square foot facility. You're not limited. Your space is wide open. And that was the one thing that I learned with that business. And after I had sold it, my wife and I moved to Florida with our family because we wanted to be a little bit closer to my wife's family. Started to regroup a little bit, started to rethink, what is it I really want? And I wanted to be home with my children. I wanted to be there. I didn't want to be that absent father. I wanted to be the father that was there, that was raising them. So my kids didn't know me just at 5 o'clock for a couple hours after dinner, and then on the weekends. I wanted them to see me and be there each and every step and each and every stage that they were in their lives. And so that is my backstory, and this is where I am now. Starting the journey of building a virtual business, building an empire online that's going to give me that leverage. And so I'm really excited, kind of scared, freaked out, never really done this before. And I'm excited not only to be sharing with you by keeping me accountable, but also sharing with you my ups and downs. Because like I said before in the first video, if you didn't catch it, you see so many people that have made it, that they're up here, they're making 6, 7, 8 figures, but you never really see the process on what they actually went through. They kind of tell you, okay, well, you just need to do this or whatever thing that they're selling, but you really never understand or never see the entire journey from A to Z, because it is a process, and I'm just starting to learn that now. And so I'm excited to share that with you, to share everything, the struggles, the the frustrations, and right now, listen, I don't have a business idea. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing, but I have kind of a little bit idea of what I want to do, but I don't have any product. I don't have any following. I certainly don't have a customer base. I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting from zero. And I'm sharing this with you because I know that if I can do it and I can figure it out, I know that it's going to help some of you. Because I know for a fact, working a 9-to-5 job and then also owning a brick and mortar business, I know for a fact that if you do not have some sort of asset that gives you leverage, one, you're not going to have the finances that you need, not only to fund your retirement, but to fund your lifestyle, and then also to give you the freedom and the ability to be with your family and do the things that you really enjoy to do. And if you love to give and if you love to serve, you'll be able to do that at a higher level than you would just working a 9-to-5 or just owning a brick and mortar business. So that's all I have for you today. I'm really excited, and I appreciate all of you that are joining me on this journey, and I'm looking forward to sharing some more videos with you, and hopefully I won't be getting all bit up like I did last time. You have an awesome day, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.